Hey guys, welcome to another video. If it's your first time here, my name is George, this is my channel. I mess around with Japanese cars, and if you're returning, you obviously saw the title and that's why you're here, because, yeah, I did it again. I bought another car. If you are familiar with me and the channel, you know this car. This is my mate Sean's old car. He decided to sell it, and yeah, I just couldn't not buy it. So here I am with the car. As you know me, this is not quite my style. Now, I do find myself cruising at 50 miles an hour on the motorway, which obviously gets me late everywhere, so that's not good. I even started wearing a red bandana, so that's for a white bloke, that's obviously not a good look, because it is a bit of a gangster car. So we're gonna try and convert it into something that's more for me. So we're going to do a manual swap. We're going to put some smaller wheels on, which are going to be 18s. I think I'm going to use the ones from my white car. And we're going to try and sort out the suspension into something that's going to grip a little bit better, manual it and drift it. So that's for that car. And then we're also going to go through some updates on the engine build, because it has been quite a while.
If you aren't super familiar with these cars, this is the JZS 171. You had the saloon as well as the wagon. Basically underneath, apart from some differences in bushes and obviously differentials as well, it's basically a JZX 110 as well as the IS Lexus chassis. In my opinion, this is going to be the next JZX once people figure out how to convert them to manual, and that is where I come in. So that's one of the first things we're going to do. I've got some parts there on the floor. That's from a Lexus IS 200. So we're going to convert it to manual. As I said, we're gonna sort of change the wheels and make it grip a little bit more, because at the moment it is quite useless to be honest, especially in the wet. So that's the wheels, the transmission, and we also, I think first thing by popular demand, shout out Lee, we're gonna install a front mount intercooler. I've got JZX 100 kit, which I think it's gonna fit. So that will be the first thing. Now, I also finally got everything for the 1JZ GE build for my JZX 100, and again, if you're not familiar with it, links in the description for the previous videos. The 1JZ GE is basically the same as the 2 GE VVTi in the Lexuses and the GS300s. So if you're interested in turbo in one of them, definitely watch that series, because that's going to show you obviously a way to do it, make it reliable, make it basically a GTE. So what I've been doing in the meanwhile is clean up the head. I got it skimmed and I pressure washed it, degreased it and sprayed it. I started to clean up the block. I haven't sprayed it just yet. I do want to pressure wash it, but it's raining outside at the moment, so I'm not doing that. Then I got some pistons, which basically now are the VVTi GTE pistons with the low compression, so we can run some mad boosts. And so yeah, basically all I'm waiting for is some time to assemble the engine, so that's definitely coming soon. But as I said, first up we need to finish this car, because at the moment it is pretty much useless. It looks amazing. It's, what did my wife say? She said she feels like an absolute badass driving this to Tesco's, because everyone's looking, especially for a woman. It must feel quite cool. But anyway, so underneath there is the trusted 1JZ VVTi. This one is the later version, so it's got some traction control stuff on the throttle, but it makes it look a little bit silly. So yeah, we need to run the piping, front mounts, and then back up. To do the front mount, you need to get the filter, because you need to get rid of the big factory box, which is not necessarily ideal, because they do perform well. They sort of supply the engine with colder air, but we can't have it because of obviously the lack of space. So I thought as well, the first thing I've done is put that fake HKS mushroom filter on it. It's got some nice strut brace. Sean, you know, I've built this car really quite nicely. But then as a personal circumstances forced him to sell it. So it's got a BC Racing coilovers. It's got some nice 90-inch wheels there, 9.5 and 10.5 in the back. It's got loads of adjustable arms, because obviously running a man can't do like this. You can't do that on the front arm, and I'm going to be converting it back to the stock arms, just do a stock adjustment. So we've got an upper arm from Hard Race. We're going to put a stock one on. We've got a tension rod, or we've got a caster arm from Jap Speed. No, can't see that. So we're going to put a stock one on, and then top rear, that will be a camber arm as well. It's from Jap Speed, so we're going to be putting a normal one in as well. But yeah, let's have a little listen what it sounds like with the filter. I don't think Sean heard it either. I'm sure he's going to be watching the video. Can't wait for this car to be a manual. When it comes down to the manual conversion, I'm going to be using the trusted IS200 gearbox because I think it works well with the MCL AutoWorks bell housing. So I'm going to be using that. As I said, I've got loads of little bits and pieces. The biggest hurdle is going to be the clutch pedal, because unlike some of the other cars where actually they have the holes there drilled, this has got nothing. It's got the provision on the firewall, but even the sound deadening is still there, so we need to cut it nicely in shape so it doesn't look horrible. So that's going to be the biggest hurdle, together with the handbrake, because the handbrake is, instead of the clutch, it's got it on the foot. So I've got some Mark III Super handbrake, I've got IS200 cable, so fingers crossed that's going to work out well. That's all the bits we're going to need. We've got the front half of the prop shaft. As far as I'm aware, the mounting holes for the donut bearing are the same. We've got the master cylinder, slave cylinder, that's the clutch pedal, that's the brake pedal. We don't need a bracket, we're just literally going to swap the pedal itself. I even got a little bit extra mild to make it nice and tidy. Instead of cutting the hole bigger, this is the manual cutout from the RS200. So I think I'm going to cut the hole a little bit bigger, and then we're going to clean this all up nicely, measure it all up, and then seal it and spot weld it, paint it black so it looks nice and stock. Underneath here, where we've got the ECU, we're going to be installing some resistors and this little emulator from Phoenix Management. It tricks the car's ECU to think that it's still an automatic, so it doesn't pick up any faults. Thanks, mate. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. The only difference is obviously is an import, so all the manuals are in Japanese, apart from the wiring diagram. Obviously, wiring diagram is a wiring diagram, so hopefully we're going to manage that just fine. On the inside, there's no handbrake, as you can see, so we're going to squeeze one in here because we got to get obviously clutch pedal there. Unfortunately, we are going to lose the cup holder, so no more Boss Coffee. I've seen someone on the internet make the shifter in here, but they were using different gearbox, and unfortunately that's not going to work for us. So we're going to cut everything out, lose the cup holder, lose this all the automatic stuff. My friend Matthew, who works as a trimmer, I believe, he sort of promised or said that he can help me with the boot or a custom trim. So yeah, that's great, we're going to do that. I just need to find out where the actual location of the shifter will be. Before we moved on to the update with the engine, there's one more thing we're going to do to the crown. I nearly forgot, and that is to fit IS200 steering rack. I've got one on the shelf there, which is in good nick. I took it off a car that I was servicing, using all the parts to do a previous manual conversions. So yeah, the crown is nice and comfortable, but the steering is ridiculously slow. So I'm hoping, being a similar chassis, that the steering rack will be a direct bolt on, but I will definitely let you know. Now here's the cylinder head, which has been skimmed. I cleaned it, degreased it, pressure washed it, and I gave it a light coat of aluminium paint. I wish I never did. I think it looked better, just nice clean aluminium, but it's a little bit too late. I mean, it's still gonna look good. So that's the head, ready to go back in. Over here we've got the pistons, which now are GTE. These were non-VVTR rods. I believe they are the same anyway. And these are the VVTR pistons. I finally managed to source a set from the States. So I've been to a machine shop, put a new, would it be a bush bearing on the top, the small ends. We've got big end bearings from ACL. I've got new rings from Hastings, which I still need to gap. We've got a new pump, water pump, and a cam belt kit from Japan. I believe the water pump on the GE is a little bit different. And then we've got a gasket set, which is actually from the 2JZ GE RS300. I've double checked the head gasket, it does fit, so that's good news. So we're going to be using that, because I believe on some of the 1Js and 2Js there's a difference in one of the oil. I believe it's this one here. The location is a little bit different. But yeah, it's all good on this one. So, and then we also have, I believe you've never seen it on the previous videos, I bought ARP head stats, so that's gonna go onto the engine as well. That's it for today's video. It's a short update again, just so you guys know what I'm up to. There are big things happening in the background. I'm ever so busy. I know I keep saying it, but things will get much better with a lot more content. So tomorrow I'm going to crack on with the intercooler. It's something I want to do anyway, and I've got some people waiting for some answers whether the JZX 100 kit works. I've got one on the shelf there, so that's what I'm going to tackle tomorrow. So there's going to be another video soon. Then I'm going to start with the engine, perhaps the manual conversion, because I do want to get it done as well. Check out the links in the description below, etc. You know, like and subscribe if you know, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.